Look at your life today. Now listen carefully. If you keep doing the same things, thinking the same thoughts, and avoiding the same risks, then 5 years from now, your life will look exactly like it does today. Change does not happen by accident. It happens by decision, and that decision starts right now. Most people don't fail because they lack talent or opportunity. They fail because they delay change. Time will pass whether you grow or not. The question is simple but uncomfortable. When the next 5 years pass, will you be proud of who you've become or disappointed that nothing changed? Time is one of the most misunderstood forces in life. People often believe that time will somehow fix their problems, heal their weaknesses, or magically improve their situation. But time has no such power. Time is neutral. It does not care whether you are disciplined or distracted, focused or fearful. It does not reward effort, nor does it punish laziness. It simply moves forward at the same pace for everyone. The difference between those who grow and those who stay stuck is never time itself, but how they choose to use it. Every single day, time places the same 24 hours in everyone's hands, yet the results after 5 years can look completely different. One person uses those hours to learn, to practice, to build better habits, and to raise their standards. Another uses those same hours to delay, to complain, to escape into comfort, and to repeat yesterday. When 5 years pass, and they always do, time delivers the results of those choices without emotion or judgment. It does not negotiate, it simply reflects back what was invested. Many people wait for motivation before they take action, not realizing that time keeps moving whether they feel ready or not. Procrastination feels harmless in the moment, but over time it quietly compounds. Days turn into months, months into years, and suddenly a person looks back and wonders where all the time went. The truth is, time didn't go anywhere. It was spent, either wisely or poorly, and what was spent determines what is received. If your habits remain the same, your future will look familiar. If your thinking stays limited, your results will stay small. If your standards remain low, your life will never rise above them. Time does not upgrade your habits for you. It does not sharpen your skills or strengthen your character on its own. Growth requires intention. Without change, time simply repeats the same outcomes in a longer timeline. This is why responsibility is so powerful. When you understand that time is neutral, you stop blaming it and start using it. You realize that even small changes, done consistently, can create massive differences over years. Reading 10 pages a day, learning one new skill, improving one decision at a time, these actions may seem insignificant today, but time will multiply them. In the same way, small neglects repeated daily will also be multiplied. 5 years from now is not a mystery. It is being created right now in ordinary moments by ordinary choices. Time will deliver exactly what you ask of it through your actions. If you ask nothing, you will receive nothing new. But if you demand growth, discipline, and progress, time will become your greatest ally. The choice is never about waiting for time to change your life. The choice is about deciding to change while time is still moving. Most people imagine success as a single dramatic breakthrough, a life-changing moment where everything suddenly falls into place. But real success is far quieter than that. It is built in ordinary days, in the small choices made when no one is watching. It grows slowly, almost invisibly, through daily habits that seem too simple to matter. Yet over time, those simple actions shape everything you become. Your habits are the silent architects of your future. What you do repeatedly trains your mind, your character, and your standards. A single day of discipline may not feel powerful, but discipline practiced every day becomes unstoppable. Reading a few pages, learning one new idea, improving one skill, or making one better decision may feel insignificant today, but when repeated consistently, these actions compound into knowledge, confidence, and capability. This is how extraordinary results are created from ordinary effort. In the same way, small neglects also compound. Skipping learning, delaying responsibility, Choosing comfort over effort or telling yourself you'll start tomorrow may seem harmless in the moment, but these choices, repeated daily, quietly shape a future filled with regret. Failure is rarely the result of one big mistake. It is usually the result of many small, careless decisions made over time. The danger is that these habits feel normal, so their consequences arrive as a surprise. Daily habits work whether you believe in them or not. They are like interest growing steadily in the background. Good habits build strength, skill, and clarity. Bad habits build weakness, limitation, and frustration. The direction of your life is determined not by what you do once in a while, but by what you do every day. Excellence is not an act, it is a routine. Consistency matters more than intensity. Many people start strong, fueled by excitement, but stop when motivation fades. Successful people understand that motivation comes and goes, but habits remain. They design their days around discipline, not feelings. They do what needs to be done even when it feels boring, uncomfortable, or slow. That is why, over time, they separate themselves from the crowd. The most powerful part of daily habits is that they give you control over your future. You don't need to change your entire life in one day. You only need to change what you do today. Improve your routine slightly. Raise your standards a little. Choose growth over comfort once more than you did yesterday. Over time, these small changes create a completely different life. Your future is not built in big promises or dramatic plans. It is built in the quiet discipline of daily action. What you practice daily becomes who you are permanently. Choose your habits carefully because they are shaping the person you will become and the life you will live, whether you realize it or not. Most people believe they want a better life, more success, more confidence, and more freedom, yet very few are willing to change. The reason is not a lack of intelligence, talent, or opportunity. The real reason is comfort. Comfort creates an illusion of safety. It convinces people that staying where they are is easier than risking discomfort, even if that place no longer brings joy or fulfillment. Comfort does not ask if you are happy, it only asks if you are familiar with your situation. Comfort whispers quietly but persistently. It tells you to delay, to stay within what you already know, to avoid effort and uncertainty. It says you can start tomorrow, or this is good enough. Over time, these whispers become habits, and habits become prisons. A comfortable life may feel calm on the surface, but beneath it lies stagnation. Nothing grows in comfort except excuses. Growth, on the other hand, demands discomfort. Every improvement requires you to stretch beyond your current limits. Learning something new feels awkward at first. Taking responsibility feels heavy. Discipline feels restrictive before it becomes empowering. These uncomfortable moments are not signs that something is wrong. They are proof that something is changing. Discomfort is the entry fee for progress. When you avoid discomfort today, you don't eliminate pain, you postpone it. The price of avoiding challenge is paid later in the form of regret, frustration, and missed potential. The discomfort of discipline is temporary, but the discomfort of regret lasts much longer. Life has a way of collecting its dues. If you do not choose controlled discomfort now, life will choose uncontrolled discomfort for you later. Comfort also shrinks your standards. When you remain comfortable for too long, you begin to accept less than what you are capable of. Dreams feel unrealistic, effort feels unnecessary, and ambition feels dangerous. Slowly, the gap between who you are and who you could become grows wider. Not because you failed, but because you never tried hard enough to leave what felt safe. Progress begins the moment you challenge yourself deliberately. It does not require massive changes all at once. It starts with small, uncomfortable decisions, waking up earlier, learning instead of scrolling, taking responsibility instead of blaming, trying instead of waiting. Each challenge strengthens your confidence and expands your capacity. What once felt uncomfortable becomes normal, and your comfort zone grows. A meaningful life is built on chosen discomfort. Those who grow understand that safety is not found in comfort, but in capability. The more you challenge yourself, the stronger and more adaptable you become. Comfort may feel peaceful, but it keeps you small. Discomfort may feel demanding, but it makes you powerful. If you want progress, you must be willing to leave comfort behind, because staying comfortable today guarantees limitation tomorrow. Most people wait for life to change before they change themselves. They hope for better opportunities, better circumstances, or better luck. But real transformation begins much earlier, at a quiet and personal moment when you decide that the way things are is no longer acceptable. Until that decision is made, nothing truly changes. You can want more, dream more, and complain more, but without higher standards, you will continue to live the same patterns. Raising your standards means deciding what you will and will not tolerate, from yourself first. It's easy to demand more from the world, but progress requires demanding more from your own actions, habits, and mindset. When your standards are low, poor decisions feel normal, excuses feel reasonable, discipline feels optional. But the moment you raise your standards, everything shifts. You begin to notice where you are settling, where you are wasting time, and where you are holding yourself back. Higher standards create clarity. When you decide that average effort is no longer acceptable, your daily choices improve automatically. You wake up with purpose instead of reacting to the day. You choose learning over distraction, effort over comfort, and responsibility over blame. Not because it's easy, but because your standards no longer allow you to live below your potential. Raising your standards is not about arrogance or entitlement, it's about self-respect. Saying, "I deserve better," is meaningless unless it is followed by, "and I'm willing to work for it." Better results require better discipline. Better discipline require better decisions, and better decisions come from higher expectations of yourself. When you expect more, you prepare more. When you prepare more, you perform better. Many people fear raising their standards because it exposes the gap between where they are and where they want to be. That gap can feel uncomfortable and overwhelming, but that discomfort is necessary. It forces growth. It pushes you to learn new skills, build stronger habits, and develop mental toughness. Lowering your standards may reduce pressure temporarily, but it also reduces progress permanently. Your environment also responds to your standards. When you hold yourself to a higher level, you attract better opportunities, better relationships, and better outcomes. People treat you differently when you treat yourself differently. Confidence grows when your actions align with your expectations. Over time, what once felt demanding becomes your new normal. Most people wait for life to change before they change themselves. They hope for better opportunities, better circumstances, or better luck. But real transformation begins much earlier, at a quiet and personal moment when you decide that the way things are is no longer acceptable. Until that decision is made, nothing truly changes. You can want more, dream more, and complain more, but without higher standards, you will continue to live the same patterns. Raising your standards means deciding what you will and will not tolerate, from yourself first. It's easy to demand more from the world, but progress requires demanding more from your own actions, habits, and mindset. When your standards are low, poor decisions feel normal, excuses feel reasonable, discipline feels optional. But the moment you raise your standards, everything shifts. You begin to notice where you are settling, where you are wasting time, and where you are holding yourself back. Higher standards create clarity. When you decide that average effort is no longer acceptable, your daily choices improve automatically. You wake up with purpose instead of reacting to the day. You choose learning over distraction, effort over comfort, and responsibility over blame. Not because it's easy, but because your standards no longer allow you to live below your potential. Raising your standards is not about arrogance or entitlement, it's about self-respect. Saying, "I deserve better," is meaningless unless it is followed by, "and I'm willing to work for it." Better results require better discipline.
Better discipline require better decisions, and better decisions come from higher expectations of yourself. When you expect more, you prepare more. When you prepare more, you perform better. Many people fear raising their standards because it exposes the gap between where they are and where they want to be. That gap can feel uncomfortable and overwhelming, but that discomfort is necessary. It forces growth. It pushes you to learn new skills, build stronger habits, and develop mental toughness. Lowering your standards may reduce pressure temporarily, but it also reduces progress permanently. Your environment also responds to your standards. When you hold yourself to a higher level, you attract better opportunities, better relationships, and better outcomes. People treat you differently when you treat yourself differently. Confidence grows when your actions align with your expectations. Over time, what once felt demanding becomes your new normal.
A higher standard today shapes a stronger future tomorrow. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your standards. If you want a better life, raise the level of behavior you accept from yourself. Decide that excuses are no longer enough. Effort must be consistent, and growth must be intentional. The moment you raise your standards, you give your life a new direction, and that decision has the power to change everything. Most people give away their power without realizing it. They hand it over to circumstances, to other people, to bad luck, or to the past. They say things would be different if only conditions were better, if someone had helped them more, or if life had been fair. But the moment you blame something outside yourself, you also give up control. Responsibility, on the other hand, is power. The day you stop blaming is the day your life truly begins to improve. Taking responsibility does not mean that everything is your fault. Life is unpredictable, unfair at times, and filled with obstacles you did not choose. But responsibility is not about fault. It is about control. You may not control what happens to you, but you always control how you respond. That response shapes your character, your habits, and ultimately your future. When you accept this truth, you stop feeling like a victim and start acting like a leader in your own life. Blame feels comforting because it removes pressure. It allows you to explain failure without changing behavior. But comfort comes at a high cost. As long as you blame circumstances, you wait for them to change, and waiting keeps you stuck. Responsibility shifts the focus inward, where real change is possible. It asks a hard question: what can I do differently right now? That question creates progress. When you take responsibility, your decisions improve. You stop reacting emotionally and start responding intentionally. You begin to learn from mistakes instead of repeating them. Failure becomes feedback, not a verdict. Each setback becomes an opportunity to adjust, improve, and grow stronger. This mindset builds resilience, confidence, and self-trust over time. Responsibility also builds discipline. When you own your outcomes, excuses lose their power. You realize that consistency matters more than conditions. You show up even when it's inconvenient. You do the work even when no one is watching. These actions may feel small, but they compound into competence and credibility. People who take responsibility earn respect because they can be trusted to handle challenges. Most importantly, responsibility gives you control over your future.
When you believe your life is shaped by your choices, not by chance, you act with purpose. You plan better, prepare better, and persist longer. You stop hoping for a breakthrough and start creating one. Control returns to your hands, where it belongs. A responsible life is a powerful life. It is not easier, but it is freer. Freedom does not come from perfect circumstances. It comes from the ability to respond wisely to imperfect ones. The moment you accept full responsibility for your actions, attitudes, and effort, you reclaim your power. And with that power, you gain the ability to shape a future that is no longer left to luck, but guided by intention. Most people delay change because they believe it requires a perfect plan, the right timing, or a complete transformation all at once. That belief keeps them stuck. Real change does not begin with massive action. It begins with one honest decision. A quiet decision made today, often when no one is watching, can become the turning point of an entire life. You don't need to fix everything. You only need to choose one better direction and commit to it. A single decision has more power than people realize because it sets direction. When you decide to change, even in a small way, you shift how you think, how you act, and what you allow in your life. Deciding to read more, learn more, or try more may feel minor, but it signals something important. You are no longer willing to stay the same. That decision changes how you use your time and how you see yourself. Many people wait for motivation before they decide, but motivation follows decision, not the other way around. The moment you decide to act, clarity begins to appear. Confidence grows from action, not from thinking about action. One decision followed by one step creates momentum, and momentum makes the next step easier. Consistency is what turns a small decision into a powerful transformation. Anyone can make a decision once, few people follow it daily. But when you choose a new direction and stay with it, even when progress feels slow, the results begin to multiply. 10 minutes of learning a day becomes knowledge. One daily effort becomes skill. Small improvements, repeated consistently, reshape your identity over time. Change also requires honesty. You must be honest about where you are, what is holding you back, and what needs to improve. This honesty is not about self-criticism, it is about self-respect. It says, I believe I am capable of more, and I am willing to act on that belief. That mindset transforms effort into purpose. 5 years may seem far away, but it will arrive faster than you expect. And when it does, your life will be the result of the decisions you made or avoided starting today. A single positive decision consistently followed can create new habits, new skills, and new opportunities. In the same way, delaying one small decision can lock you into the same patterns. The power of today is often underestimated. Today is not just another day, it is the foundation of tomorrow. You don't need perfection, you need commitment. Choose one action that moves you forward and take it seriously. That one decision, honored daily, has the power to completely rewrite your life. 5 years from now, you will arrive at a destination, by design or by default. Don't let comfort steal your potential. Don't let fear decide your future. Change today, because tomorrow is shaped by what you do right now. Your best life is waiting, but only if you move.